Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. You know it is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And welcome all new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And also to my veteran subscribers, thank you for all love and support you've shown us on the channel. Thank you for all that you do, helping watch the videos, and also to spreading the word out to tell everybody to come on down here and join the channel. So I hope y'all do that and let everybody know this is the place to be. We're trying to do our best, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely we're getting there. But anyway, now it's time to get down to business. It's time for Graphics Card Nightmares right here on JJ's PC Builds. Just a quick update. We're up to 199 subscribers. Oh my god. 199 subscribers. And now this is the 38th episode of Graphics Card Nightmares. Believe it or not. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it and get it all started. So that way, y'all can just see what's going on for this week. I'm kind of curious myself because last week it was kind of up and down a little bit about the graphics cards. Now, understand, I don't know what's going on, with the RTX 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte. They got one, like the last video I made, they had one reviewer that had it, and, and I guess he paid for it, I don't know what nvidia is cooking up, but it looks like that it's not much. Board partners are not saying anything. Nobody's not saying anything. But they did announce and say, hey, it's coming out. But, it was supposed to be on the 18th. And now this is the 23rd. This is the 23rd of July. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. See what we can find. See if they got anything cooking. And let's see what the prices are, see what's going on. So this way y'all get an idea of this week, and if you always can look back at last week to see what the prices were to this week to see which way the trend is following. So let's jump into the action screen. And there we go, we're back in the action screen. Let's go ahead and just go right to Amazon and see what they got cooking. Never know, there could be something there. And let's type in graphics cards for gaming PC. Okay, now looks like that the 580, they got the RX 580, it's down to $98.99. Now remember, this card a couple weeks back was about $129. Now they dropped it down to $109 last week, and now it's $98.99. It's coming down in price slowly. Not too many people are buying them and everything else, but they're coming down slowly, trust me. Looking at, what they got cooking, 3060, look. They keep saying that the price was at $429. I kind of beg to differ. But they're saying it's $300 now for the 3060. That's still not a bad deal. But, then they got the one here for $339, $340. They got one here for $285. That's got 3 fans on it for $285. But 3060s are not bad for, if you're just wanting a starter card or something to get started with. This is your first time building. It's a great graphics card if you're first time building. It's still got a lot. You still get about a couple, 2 to 3 years out of it, I would think. It's a 12 gigabyte with VRAM. The only thing I don't like about it is it has 15 gigabytes per second. That's what I kind of really don't like about it. They should have bumped that up to like 18 or 19 gigabytes per second. That would have made it a lot better. But it's still got a 192-bit bus. And, it's overclocked. So, moving on down the road, let's see what they got. Now, they got the 1030 here, but it's 4 gigabytes. I don't think anybody's interested in 4 gigabytes, so let's keep moving on down the road. 337, got 98, got a 3050 for 229. I wouldn't get the 229 3050 because you can always get the next step up for a couple dollars more. I would kind of think about that for a minute. If you're thinking about buying it, I would think about it really hard. 1630, I don't think 4 gigabytes really ain't gonna cut it with anybody. I would never buy this brand here. Nah. I had this brand right here for the 730, the GT 730, and it was nothing but a joke. So I would never buy their brand again. Never. They got the 2060 12 gigabytes for 414. I would think about doing the 3060 before I would decide to do the 2060, just to be honest with you. I wouldn't touch the 3050 because it's not that great of a card. So we'll just keep moving on down the road, see if we find anything interesting this year. Well, today, let's just say $259 for a 1660 Super. I wouldn't pay it unless you're a collector. Then that would be a difference. If you're collecting them, then that's up to you. But wow, $300 for this. $300. Let's see, pre-built. Now, this might be something y'all might be interested. I know we're doing graphics card nightmares, but I did see this. It looks like it's a pre-built gaming PC, Intel Quad i5, up to 3.6 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM, one gigabyte graphics card. For $300. Okay. Now, they say it's Windows 10 gamers PC, but okay, the only thing is that graphics card. Well, for $300, let's see, what do you got in here? The Intel Quad Core, that's probably about $50. You got about 16 gigs of RAM. So you got 50, you got about 80, you got about 120, 120, you got about 170, you got about 210, but I would say about 210, 220, but they want 300 for it. So, I kind of think about it before I would get something like this because it looks like they're just RGB and it's not ARGB. It doesn't state that. So, you never know what you get inside of the case. It's kind of slim picking on this one. I wouldn't really get it because i5 core 3.6 gigahertz. For $300, you can get yourself a B450 motherboard for $79, right? Then you can turn around and get yourself a processor. You can get yourself a processor that goes up to 4.2 to 4.4 gigahertz. A lot better than 3.6. And 16 gigs of RAM, you could probably get it for like $29-30. So by the time you get done putting yourself a system together, it would equal probably only about $80 more than this price right here. but you have a nice hefty built system that will game, that that will keep up with the Joneses. Even an iGPU, if you got the 5600G, an iGPU would beat this graphics card. 1 gigabyte graphics card, iGPU, you can go, if you get 32 gigs of RAM in the system with an iGPU like the 5600G, you can get all the way up to I think about 16 gigabytes of RAM for the iGPU. That's a better deal than this. I mean, 100 times better than this. It's got to learn how to spend your money and know what you're spending on, so that way you know what you're doing. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I can't see spending all this extra money that you really don't need. I gamed for 9 months on an iGPU, okay? 9 months on the Ryzen 5 5600G. It's not the greatest in performance and everything else, but you know what? If you set your graphics right, you can still game. You can still get between 60 and 70 FPS on it. I don't foresee anything wrong with it. I mean, if you get over 60 FPS on a game, that right there is gold. I mean, if you can game for months and months and months off of a iGPU, you'll never need a regular graphics card. I mean, just to be honest with you, I would never need it. The only reason I upgraded my stuff was because I wanted to see what it's like to go to that next level. Which I did, so I went to the next level, but I took my time. I didn't put everything all into one. Okay? I bought it part by part by part. Did my upgrade slowly. Now with this B550 motherboard, I can plug that Ryzen 5 5600G into it, and this graphics card that I got, even though that it's got integrated graphics, it will still game. It will still keep up. And that's what surprised me when I plugged it in all together. It's a monster. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. But, I know some people are buying pre-built systems. They don't want to deal with how to build a system and everything else. But look at it like this. Okay? If you're going to spend $500 to $600, okay, to be honest with you, you can take and turn around. Right here, this is 269. This is one of the newer graphics cards from AMD. The ones they just come out with. Okay, so this 7600 for 269 is not a bad deal. It's got 8 gigabytes and it's overclockable, so it's not a bad deal for 269. I mean, you can build yourself a MATX small mini case, not too big of a case. This would fit into it perfectly. Also, too, if you wanted to put water cooling in there, you could put water cooling in there. Build yourself up slowly. Don't do it all at one time. I mean, get yourself a decent motherboard, and then a decent processor, some decent RAM, and start your way there. And then pick out your graphics card. Never pick your graphics card in the beginning, because then you're putting all your budget into one graphics card. And then that leaves you nothing on the back end, like your motherboard, your processor, and so on. Always put your motherboard first, then your processor, then your RAM, and then your graphics card. I mean, that way you see what kind of budget you're left with your graphics card. So, but if you got $1,000 budget, you can get yourself a definitely decent uplift on a decent gaming PC. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see, moving on down the road. Look at this, $430 for an 4060 Ti 8 gigabyte. Okay, $430. Why? Oh, because it's got Spider-Man on it. Well, so what? So what? You can take and go to a graphic detail store and get yourself some, those peel and stick graphics. You can put it on your card and be done with it if you want to put graphics on your cards. Be honest with yourself. You can get yourself a decent graphics card. You can put any kind of graphics you want on a graphics card. So, use common sense when you buy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Use common sense when you want to buy. This right here, this RAM right here is not bad for a DDR4. 3200 megahertz, 32 gigabyte kit, and it looks like it's got if I'm wrong, or could be right, it's got RGB for $68. That's not bad for 32 gigs with RGB, 2 sticks. So, alright, moving on down the road. We're gonna move on down the road. Let's go ahead to Newegg. Alrighty, let's go to Newegg. Like I told y'all, I take you all from the beginning to end when I do everything. I know there's a couple videos I didn't do that, and I apologize for that, but there was just a lot cooking on those days. So, but we're going to keep moving on down the road and see what we find. I don't shop too much on Newegg. Some people do, and some people like to, see everything what's going on Newegg. Excuse me. So, I do everything I can on Newegg. Okay, now when you come up here to your right here on your picking your stuff, okay, always put ship by Newegg. Okay. Always put free shipping. Lowest prices in 30 days. And if you're not sure about who you're buying from, you can always put direct from manufacturer. So this way you get it directly from the manufacturer. You're not buying from some odds and ends store. So now we can go down and look at the prices. Okay, so we're getting everything that we're safe about. We don't have nothing to worry about. But, sometimes people don't want to look direct from manufacturer too. They like to live on the edge. So let's turn that off, and we can live on the edge so we can see everything going on. But if it's shipped by Newegg, then it's pretty much going to be covered by Newegg. So let's see, 4068 gigabyte, 309, 4060, 289. Okay, so, but I've already seen the benchmarks and numbers on the 4060 8 gigabyte. I wouldn't waste your time with it, really. I really wouldn't waste your time with it. 3060 12 gigabyte, 284, that's not too bad. 3070 Ti 8 gigabyte, no, that's a little too expensive. 4070 12 gigabyte, 625. I would try to look for the ones that are $599 that usually got 2 fans instead of 3. I got the 4070 myself, and I got it for $599. But do look around. There's always deals that are going on. So, you can always find a deal if you look very closely. 67, 6800 XTs. If you get somewhere in there, 6800 XT is a good one to think about. 3070 is too expensive. Your 6750 XT, those are not bad. These are 12 gigabyte. These are not bad cards. So, For $369, it's not bad. That depends on if you want to go with AMD or nvidia. Okay. Also, too, don't forget Intel's got their Arc. That's down on price too. But the only thing is, you really don't see it much on Amazon and Newegg. That's really, that's really the thing. You really don't see it that much. I mean, I can't see paying $829 for the 4070 Ti, 12 gigabyte. And people don't understand that the 4070 and the 4070 Ti are almost the same identical card. The only thing different is the cores, and the uplift, and the way I said many of times, there's a 20% uplift between the 4070 and the 4070 Ti. Now, for the price, for $599 to $829, that's not worth it for that uplift. I can tell you that. If it was a 50 to 60% uplift, $829 could be justified, but it can't be justified with between a 15 and 20% uplift. I don't think so. So you got the 7600 8 gigabyte for $289. That's not a bad card. Moving on down the road. There's not much going on in Newegg when it comes to graphics cards, I can tell you that much. So, we'll go ahead and move down the road. And we'll go to eBay. We'll go to eBay. I know everybody gets mad when I say e-waste, but it's true. It's basically what people are selling on eBay is e-waste. That's what people told me, a long time ago. Yeah, you go shop on eBay, you get nothing but e-waste. I'm like, no, really? Look at this. RTX 4090, 1504. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't touch that because the card's out of the box. Okay. You pay $1,600 for a card. You do yourself a favor and make sure you get your drinks and snacks with you. That's what you make sure on. You spend $1,600 on a card. Make sure it's new in the box. Make sure you get a warranty with it. Don't spend that kind of money here on eBay. If, you're looking for that kind of card, go to Micro Center or, go somewhere you feel comfortable with that gives you a warranty. And that's the whole idea, to get at least their 3-year warranty from their company and get a 2-year factory, so you get 5-year warranty. So if anything goes up in the cart, you can take and get it RMA'd. That means you can get it, either your money back, or you can get them to replace the card for absolutely free. That's the whole deal. You want that kind of coverage, but on eBay, you only get a 30-day. That's if the seller, now, people don't get this right or wrong, but it's only if the seller allows the money back guarantee. If they don't, then you're just buying junk. That's basically how I look at it. If they can't bargain with you, then you're just buying, junk. When they say buy it as is, you're just buying their junk. That's all it is. I mean, look at the prices. I mean, I'm going down the line in these prices, and as I see, I don't really see too much that's got any bite or teeth to it. Even the 3080 10 gigabyte right here is $400. I mean, you really don't know what you're going to buy. I mean, $40 a best offer for an R9. What, R9 240 or something like that? Those cards usually, when you get them off of eBay, they're usually broke. So you end up having to send them out to get them fixed and everything else. It's not worth it. 1660 Ti single fan, $119 if you're collecting it. But that's basically that coming out of a Dell. So basically, it come out of a system, like a Dell system. So they're selling you a system card, which don't have no teeth at all. Just to let you know. Back then, system cards, when you bought your computer system, and it came with the graphics card in it, basically you're under their envelope, and it wasn't really a great card. So, 1650. I mean, a lot of people are using the 1650 still, but they're 4 GB cards. I mean, 4 GB is now these days doesn't carry you that far. I mean, it really doesn't. A 2080 Super, 8 GB, brand new U.S. seller. Okay, that's somebody that wants to convince you for $255 that it's a great card. Look at it, single blower. That card is going to be so noisy. That card is going to be so damn noisy. You best off to have 2 or 3 fans on the card, other than have a single blower fan on the card, because really, it's not really worth it. Look at this, 16 GB DDR6 limited edition, 305. 305 plus $19 in shipping. You can keep the card and keep the shipping, because when you put it on like that, you don't want to see free shipping. I don't want to see, people say, want to sell you something and they want to sell you it with shipping. So basically, they want you to buy the card and you pay for the shipping. Instead of combining the price into one and say free shipping, that would have been common sense. I'm sure they can get the price on, the cost of shipping the card, and, factor that into the price of the item. And this way, the consumer doesn't feel like they're getting ripped off. I mean, that's basically the way the consumer's going to feel, is they're going to feel like they're getting ripped off. It is $1,089. $1,089. List price was $1,269, 14% off for $1,000 for 4080. Yeah, because they were $1,200 MSRP, if I remember right. 6700 XT 12 GB, $270. GDR6, not too bad. Yeah, we're going through the nightmares of everything, y'all. We're going through the nightmares of everything. Look at this right here. This is a nightmare right here. $700, 4090. Look at this. The card's going to be broken by the time you get it. So why buy it? When they sell it to you like that, I ain't buying that. No way, nowhere, no when, and no how. 2060 Super, $169, or best offer. Well, they probably used the crap out of it, so why would it be worth anything to me? I don't think so. I think that would be another nightmare waiting to happen. These single blower cards, they're all a bunch of nightmares. The RX 554 gig, no, I don't think so. 1660 Super 6 GB, $100 plus $120. Basically what they're saying for the 1660 Super. I don't want, no. Single blower cards I wouldn't deal with. 3080 Trinity I wouldn't deal with. No. 3060 Ti 259. I wouldn't buy this. This right here, the 3060 Ti, 8 GB. I don't think that would be worth it to you. You could probably get it for brand new for cheaper. the Quadros RTX 6000 for $1,300, 24 gigs, GDR6 graphics. Are they selling both of the cards as one package? That would be the question if they're selling both of those as one package. You know, if they give you both cards for $1,300, I could see it. And that way you can turn around and sell one of the cards for half the cost. But Quadros, I can tell you now these days, Quadros, you're not going to get no performance out of them whatsoever. They're the kind of cards that are become sinners. The sinner cards. You don't want to buy those sinner cards. Okay, now moving on down the road. Let's go to Micro Center. Last stop is Micro Center. And see what they got. Even though if you can go to the store or you can't go to the store or whatever the case, you can always go to Micro Center's website at microcenter.com and check them out, see if they're good or not. So we're just going to type in graphics cards. So this way we see what's going on right in front of us. $149 for a 1650. They can ship that out if you want to buy something like that, but to me, that's a nightmare card. I don't care how many people still use the 1650, they ain't nothing but a nightmare. They're 4 gigabytes, 4 gigabyte cards. You get more RAM off of an iGPU at a price for $109 than you can get for the GTX 1650. Now, if you want to, now we're going to do a little experiment to show you what. We're going to go and type in GTX 1650. And we're going to type in specs. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go look at the specs. Okay, it's a TU, that's a Turing, 896 cores, 56 TMUs, 32 ROPs, 4 gigabytes of memory, GDR5, 128-bit. Okay, now looking at these cards. Okay, look at the boost clock, 1665. Okay. Now this is 2000 memory clocks, 2001 megahertz at 8 gigabits effective. Okay. When you look at it like in a different fashion in an iGPU, okay, it's 16 gigabits per second effective at 16, was it 16 or no, it was 21 something megahertz, 2100 and something megahertz. That's on an iGPU. Boost clock on an iGPU 2300 megahertz if it's a Ryzen 5 5600G. Base clock, is it like 1600 or something in there? But yeah, bandwidth, your bus width and everything else. On an iGPU you can get a lot more, especially with memory size. You can get up to 16 gigabytes of memory size. So instead of 4 gigabytes, you can get 16 dedicated. So, and the L2 cache, you can get a lot more than that on the L2 cache. Shading units, it's more or less between 400 and 500, but your TMUs are not bad and your ROPs are not bad on an iGPU. Okay, so you're looking at like like 1650. You're probably looking at like the RTX 470. I mean, these are cards that are outdated. These cards are way outdated. So, but if you set up a iGPU just right, it can run like a 1660 Super. Just to let you know that. It can run like a 1660 Super if it's set up right. Me, I know how to set them up, so that's not a big deal. But for people that don't know how to set them up into the BIOS, when it comes to integrated graphics, that's a different story. So, let's go ahead and keep moving on down the road. I just wanted to give you an idea of the difference of buying a $149 card and buying a processor with an iGPU for $109. Just to show you the difference between the two. So, but they got the 4070 Ti for $800. That's available to ship. That's something they will ship to you if that's something you're looking for. But let's go over here and see what they got. Well, it looks like they got no price on the 7900 XT. That means they're probably out of stock. You never know. They could be out of stock. Let's see. The 4070, the 4090. Like I said right here, the 4090 for $1,700. Now, if you were to go buy that 4090 over on eBay, you don't get all the warranties and everything with it. Now, if you come over here to like Micro Center and you got one close to you and you buy it for like... Now, do remember, you can always ask them, do they have an open box? And if they got an open box item, like a 4090, they could probably cut a couple $100 off of it. So it's not a bad deal if you can get it on that kind of steel. Okay, I know a lot of people that go to Micro Center, they always ask for open boxes. And most of the time, Micro Center's got a lot of open boxes, so they got a lot of deals going on there. When I went, they had a lot of deals going on. I got some good deals myself. Right here, Gigabyte 4070, $599. That's a full-size card. Not too shabby. So, you got to look at what the nightmare is and what's not a nightmare. I mean, you can always get a 4070 Ti 12 gigabyte, but I wouldn't recommend it because I'd rather get the 4070 instead of the 4070 Ti. I mean, there's not much more of an uplift from the 4070 to the 4070 Ti. Because they both share the same GPU chip. The same GPU die. They share the same thing. So, and they both share the same amount of VRAM, so why would I go and buy something that's more expensive when, I can buy something cheaper? It's like the 4060 Ti 16 gigabytes. Why would I pay $500 when I can pay $600 and get something with 27% more uplift like the RTX 4070, which I already bought the RTX 4070. And I'm more than happy with that card than I would be any other card. Like, I mean, $400, I wouldn't pay that for that. I'm sorry. I mean, I've tried this card on some of them newer games, and it seems to be doing pretty good, I think. So I can't really consider the card I got a nightmare. But, when it comes down to it all, and this is my conclusion, okay? Now and get this. They had a couple cards, I think, that were good deals, but they had some cards that were not great deals, that were just freaking nightmare. When you go on to eBay, I'll make this a good point to you. When you go on eBay, you're only going to get, if you don't get the 30-day warranty, guarantee that you can send it back if there's something wrong, then you're going to be screwing yourself on it. That's one. Now, the second thing that's with eBay is that they don't give you the factory warranties. You can always see if the factory will honor the warranty on the item. You can always check into that to see if they'll warranty it. Maybe you'll have to re-register with them and they'll give you that 2-year factory warranty. I've done that with some merchandise I've done back years ago, to where that the company, with older computers, basically if they're still within the warranty period, they'll give you the outstanding amount of warranty that's left with the card from the date it was registered. Or some companies honor it and just give you the full 2 years and they give you a full new warranty. Factory warranty. You can get some that are like that and get it absolutely free, but you have to check with the manufacturer if they're going to give you that kind of warranty, what kind of deal you're going to get. But when you buy cards off of eBay, it's basically people that are just gone out there and they went trash picking or whatever. They cleaned up the cards and everything else, checked them out, see if they work or not, and if they don't work still, they just put them on the eBay. If they don't work or not, if they don't work, they say, hey, it doesn't work. You want to buy it? That's up to you. Oh, hey, this works. But it doesn't mean you can't load when they test it, they plug it in, and if they get a picture, guess what? They sell it to you. That doesn't mean that the BIOS isn't corrupted on them. That doesn't mean that, when you plug it in, that you're not going to be able to load up the drivers, driver software for that card. There could be problems on the card. There could be artifacting. It could be many of things. If you're willing to go through that kind of risk just to get a graphics card secondhand, then you can go to Jawa. Jawa's got some good deals there. Just don't put all your eggs into one basket, is all I'm saying. If you look at a card you really want, let's say you wanted just a simple starter card like the RX 580. If you're going to get the 580, just buy it off of Amazon. You can get it for $100. You can get some warranty on it. You can get one that, choose from the ones that they got. They got a vast variety of them. Pick out one you like. Get at least a couple year warranty off of Amazon. Get a couple year factory warranty. Boom. Just make sure it's the factory you're getting it from is going to, honor that warranty. They're not going to close up shop in the midst of anything. If you get it off-brand, off-name, then you're not going to be guaranteed 100% that warranty. I know I got screwed like that myself. That was a nightmare right there. So, when you buy, watch who you buy from. Mainly the ones I try to stick with is Asus, MSI, Gigabyte, okay, and from the factory direct, which would be nvidia or AMD, factory direct. But if it's Intel, I would make sure you get it from a reputable source that's selling the art cards from Intel, or Intel that's coming directly from Intel. But at least if they're, a reputable source that's a parts dealer, a seller for Intel, that they have to be, how'd they say it? It goes on that partnership program or something. Make sure that when you're dealing with a company, make sure it's connected to Intel. So this way, if you get an art card and if something goes wrong, that you can get it back to Intel to have them fix it and send it back to you, or them send you a brand new one. So just make sure you get, this seller is an Intel ARC seller, for Intel. Make sure they're registered with Intel as a good dealer for selling their cards. Because if not, then you're going to be stuck in that boat to where, you can't get a factory warranty. They're not going to warranty anything. They're going to say you broke it and this and that. That's what's going on around now these days with some of the companies. They're saying, well, you broke it. We're not RMAing it. And that's what they've been saying. So, again, do yourself a favor. Make sure it's a responsible company that you can trust, that you can take and call up on the phone and say, hey, I got a broken GPU. It's brand new. I bought it from, such and such company. Will you RMA it? As long as you're not at fault and you didn't commit no abuse on that card, they will RMA it. Just got to be careful in how you insert the card. You don't break the foot in the back. You just got to be careful. If you know how to be responsible with the graphics card or any PC parts, not to scratch it. If you got any scratches on a PC part, they're not going to RMA it. They're going to think that you're sitting there monkeying with it. That's the reason why they don't RMA things. Just to let you know that. Because if there's a bunch of scratches on it and stuff and they look at it, they say, well, we're not RMAing it because you're sitting there monkeying with it. Because there's a bunch of scratches all over it. Now, some companies, what they've been doing is just the opposite. They've been putting scratches on the board and stuff, and then when you go to buy it and then you find out that it's not working correctly, you go to send it back, they won't RMA it because it's got a bunch of scratches. And then they blame the consumer for it. And they're sitting there being the ones that are doing it on the boards. Got to watch for that funkiness. You open up the card, you broke the seal, guess what? They're not going to RMA it. Just to let you know that. That's another nightmare in itself. So, if you don't open up the card and you don't monkey with it, and you send it back to them, and they say they're not going to RMA it, you say you're going to RMA it because the seal was not broken and I did not abuse it. You are going to fix it. See, I'm a little bit more forceful when it comes to if something's broken. Because I'm going to want them to fix it. Either fix it or give me another one. Because I know how to handle PC parts. And one thing a company never wants to do is get me on their bad side. Or have them on my bad side, not me on their bad side. Them on my bad side, basically. But anyway, I'm not going to keep the blah, blah, blah going. I'm going to go ahead and call it right here. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And thank you again, all new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Welcome to JJ's PC Builds. And also to my veteran subscribers. As always, much love to you and thank you for all the support you've shown the channel. By watching the videos and, telling everybody out in the world to come on down and join the family. That goes for everybody. You get a chance, you want to tell your friends or whatever, you want to tell them to come down here, join the family, join the fun, join the channel. Tell them come on down and join us. It doesn't cost anybody anything, and it's absolutely free. So, I'm not charging anybody. It is free to come down here to get a little bit of entertainment, watch me act like a fool sometimes, but, it doesn't cost you anything. I'm not asking anybody for anything. So, that's just the way it is. But, until the next time, and I mean the next time in the next video, this is JJ on JJ's PC Builds. We will see you on the next one.